Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I would love to have you subscribe, like, comment, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So in today's video, I am doing another collab with my beautiful friend and sister, Steph from Not Your Basic Steph. We had talked about doing another collab very soon after we did our first one, and we just decided to go ahead and go for it. A few days ago, I was texting her and I was just kind of telling her that I'd kind of hit a wall with video ideas. I just really didn't know what to do next. And she said, well, let's do another collab. And I was like, hooray. So we noticed when we were doing our box of shame video that we had a palette in common that neither one of us had used, which is the Eloise Cosmetics, the Queen palette. And that is this right here. I love the front of this palette. I think it's so beautiful, such cool artwork. And I love how it says, a queen lies in all of us. Let's look at the color story. This is a very beautiful, bold color story. There are some neutral options, but there are several pops of color, which I just love. These are my favorite kind of palettes where you can kind of mix and match and do a more neutral look or more bold look, whatever suits your fancy. And so, yeah, we were just really excited to use something together that we'd never used before. And we decided to go ahead and do a palette bingo. And if you're unfamiliar with what that is, that means that you randomly select shades from the palette and then create a look with it. It's typically 5 shades. She asked me to go ahead and put the random number generator app on my phone. And so I got the pleasure of choosing the color story. I'm going to show you what I chose, and then I've swatched them on my arm so you can kind of see better what the whole picture looks like. The first one I selected was Sovereign, which was number 20. That's this kind of turquoisey blue teal shimmer. And then I selected Queen, which is this purple purple shimmer, kind of a dark purple. And then I selected another shimmer, so I was getting a little nervous, which is Jewels here. It's kind of this copper shimmer. And then I selected Elizabeth, which is this kind of bright pink matte. And then Amina, which is this kind of magenta purpley matte. So 3 shimmers, 2 mattes, not too bad. So I have swatched the color story on my arm right here. And I think it's, it's a pretty unique color story. At first I was a little nervous. This is kind of out of my comfort zone, but I thought, well, good. That'll help me kind of get more familiar with using colors that I normally wouldn't put together. So yeah, we're going to create looks with this bad boy. And if you're interested to see how mine turns out, please sit back, relax, and let's get started. All right, let's get started with this palette bingo. I'm going to be using the Queen palette from Eloise Cosmetics, of course. And I think I'm going to start off with this shade here, this shade, matte shade called Amina. And I'm just going to be using just kind of a fluffy blending brush and just go in there and lay this down on the outer part of my lid. And yeah, that's a pretty shade. It's a really pretty shade. It was so funny because when I was using the random number generator to pick these shades, and I started off with 3 shimmers, I was like, oh gosh, we're gonna have an all shimmer look here. But luckily I was able to grab a couple of mattes as well, so that made me happy. I kind of wanted Steph to choose the color story, but she was like, no, you can do that. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure you really want me to do this? But yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. It is a color story that I would never normally pick for myself, which in a lot of ways is good because I'm trying to kind of break out of my comfort zone and, create looks that are different than I would normally do. And I think that's good for me to try some different things out. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Steph creates because I know it's going to be absolutely incredible. She creates some of the most gorgeous looks I have ever seen in my life. And it's funny because every time I watch one of her videos, I'm like, this is my favorite look. No, wait, that's my favorite look. It's just, So basically what I'm getting at is all of her looks are my favorite. They're amazing. And yeah, I just really enjoy her videos. She introduced me to WhatsApp, which I'd never heard of before. If you remember, I'm in my late 40s, so some of this newfangled technology stuff is above my head. But anyway, she was the one that said, hey, get WhatsApp and then we can text, because before that we were just emailing back and forth. And she's like, and we can also video chat. So we have video chatted multiple times, which has been so fun to just kind of see where she lives and meet her family. And they raise snakes, which I just think is, I mean, I couldn't do it. I'm not really afraid of snakes. It's just, I don't know. They're just not necessarily my pet choice, I guess, but they show me their snakes every so often when we do a video chat, and she has got some beautiful, amazing snakes. They're incredible. The colors they're just, and my husband is like, oh, that's amazing. We need to do that. And I'm like, honey, do we? I don't know that we need to do that. But yeah, my husband's really into all animals, really. And one other thing that we found out that was kind of funny was that we basically have twin cats. I have a really large, he's like 20 pounds, all black, very fluffy Maine Coon cat named Reggie. And she has basically the same cat, but his name is Mr. Fluff. And the only real difference between the cats is their eye color. Mr. Fluff has kind of greenish eyes and Reggie has kind of orangey yellow eyes. But it was really funny the other day, we were video chatting and I flipped the phone around so she could see Reggie, and Mr. Fluff happened to be right next to her. So she flipped her phone around and they kind of got to meet for the first time. Although I don't think Reggie had any clue what was going on. Reggie is not the smartest cat in the world, but he's such a sweetheart, and he's like a dog. He is extremely social and very social, just wants to constantly be pet. And as soon as we get home from work, my husband and I, he's just all over us. And, you know, he like comes when you call him, and he's just a really fun cat. Anybody that comes over, he just thinks they're his best friend. And so he's just, you know, into everybody. Now I'm going to go into a different brush here. It's kind of a longer, more tapered brush, and I'm going to go into Elizabeth and put that towards the front part of my lid transition area. And then we have another cat named Bitsy that is just this teeny tiny little black and white tuxedo cat. And she is just very different from Reggie. She's very sweet and very loving, but she's kind of, I guess, more independent than he is. So she kind of just does her own thing. She likes to spend a lot of time in my daughter's old bedroom, sleeping on her bed most of the day. And she just kind of, when we get home from work, she just comes downstairs when she feels like it. And it's so funny because she is just madly, and I mean madly, in love with my husband. She thinks that he is the best thing ever. And he used to wear a hat to work, and he can no longer wear the hat to work because she has taken over the hat. Somehow it got on the ground, on the floor, and we just watch her, and she just goes nuts. She like rolls around in it and like tries to get in the hat. It's like a, you know, baseball cap. It's just hilarious. She's nuts. I don't get it, but anything and everything that belongs to him, his shoes, his work bags, his clothing, anything that she can find that's his, she just, you know, rubs all over it, rolls around in it. It's so funny. And we'd love to have a dog. We're huge dog lovers. And Steph has a dog named Poppy that you may have seen in her videos if you have watched them, which you should. So I'm telling you. But she has the sweetest dog named Poppy. And usually when I video chat Steph, Poppy will make an appearance, and I just love her. Oh, she's so sweet. And one of the main reasons why we don't have a dog is because our backyard is just teeny tiny. It's like a little square of, there's like a square patio and then dirt, which we've actually turned into a garden, which has been really nice. But I don't know, I just kind of feel bad not really having much of a yard. And then the fact that both of us work full time, it's like the dog would be left alone in the house all day. And I don't know, I just feel bad. At some point though, we'd really like to get a dog. Okay, I really like the pigmentation of these mats. They're blending easily, and I think they look really nice on the lid, so I have no complaints. Yeah, I think this looks really nice. Really nice. And yeah, I like it a lot. I'm just so happy that Steph and I each had a palette in our box of shame that we hadn't used, so we could do this palette bingo together. It worked out great. Okay, so now I'm going to get another brush, and I'm going to, if I can find it, there we go. Just a little flat packing brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Queen, which is this purple shimmer here, and I'm going to put that towards the outer part of my lid. And I'm also going to spray this actually so that it's nice and foiled looking. That's the goal. And I just kind of hit something and made my camera kind of swing back and forth. So if you're seasick, I apologize. Okay, so now I'm going to put that towards the outer part of my lid here, and just kind of lay that down. And I love these shimmers. Well, this shimmer anyway. I haven't tried the other ones, but I love this. It's got that really nice kind of sticky texture to it, which I appreciate because, and I did spray the brush, but there's no fallout, which, yeah, I love it. Because a lot of times when I create looks, there's so much fallout right here, and then you spend a lot of time cleaning it up. So, all right, and I'm going to go back into that, and I'm going to spray the brush again, and I'm going to go on the other eye. But yeah, we just kind of finished getting our garden all together for the summer. Last year we did cucumbers, tomatoes, squash, and pumpkins. And we got a ton of cucumbers and tomatoes, tons. And then we also got 2 blueberry bushes last year as well. So this year we're just doing cucumbers and tomatoes so far. I think we'll probably get some other stuff at some point. And one of our blueberry bushes is doing great, and the other one, I don't know what's going on with it. Looks a little sick. Just not really doing anything. So I don't know. We're trying to figure out if maybe we didn't, give it enough attention during the winter. We don't really know. So yeah, I'm going to clean this brush off a little bit, and I'm going to go into this shade here, this jewel shade, this kind of coppery shimmer, and going to spray the brush and put that on the front part of my lid. Ooh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Ooh, wow, I like that. Yeah, that's nice. I like that a lot. I really am digging these shimmers. Yeah. And I really like the sprayed effect because it kind of makes that more metallic foiled look, which I love. But yeah, I think this is a really nice, and those two look like they're meshing together well. It was funny, when I first got this color story, I was like, what am I going to do? Because this is just not, a group of colors that I probably would have put together on my own. Now I'm going to go to the other eye. But I think this is coming together okay. I really do. And my beautiful friend and sister, Dee Dee, who I met through YouTube and literally feel like I've known my entire life. She has given me some great video ideas. One of which is she really would like me to do an all red eye look. And so yeah, I need to do that for her. I promised Dee Dee I'll do it. But this has a little bit of red in it, sort of. That Amina shade is kind of more of a reddish undertone to it. But yeah, Dee Dee's amazing. I love her. Okay, and now I think what I'm going to do is go in that outer V again a little bit more, just to kind of deepen that up a little bit as much as I can with this Amina shade. Same brush I used the first time around. And just kind of make sure that that's built up enough and doesn't look too, kind of trying to make it maybe go a little bit better with that purple shimmer. And yeah, this is nice. I think for what we got, this is turning out pretty good, actually. And then one last thing, I am going to blend that out a little bit more on the outer edges because it's a little harsh. I am going to go in with my finger with those shimmers and just make sure it's nice and defined. And I like to use my finger too with shimmers towards the end. I typically start off with my brush and then I go back over it with my finger just to kind of make sure it has that real metallic look to it. Now I'm going to take this brush again and just kind of go over the outside edge of the shadows just to kind of make sure that that's nice and blended and not too harsh looking. And it always kind of looks a little little kooky at first, and then once you kind of get everything on and these shadows kind of have a chance to kind of like warm up with your skin, then it kind of all blends together a lot better. I know my husband has come in here on his way to work, and I'm like right in the middle of an eye look, and he's like, huh. I'm like, just wait. So then I usually will send him a picture after I'm all done, just so he knows that like I did not go to work looking like a hot mess. I really like the pigmentation of this palette. The blendability is really nice. The shimmers are wonderful. Yeah, I don't have any complaints. I don't have anything negative to say at all. And, you know, I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to makeup, but, you know, I really am enjoying this so far. Okay, so blue, here we go. The Sovereign shade here. I'm going to be going on my lower lash line with that. Actually, no, I'm not. Really quickly, I am going to take this little brush here. I am actually going to be taking this Amina shade first and kind of putting that in my lower lash line just to kind of meld the upper lid and the lower lid together. I usually don't do this in this order. I usually put my face makeup on and then do my lower lash line, but because I'm using that blue in the lower lash line and I'm putting my face makeup on later, it's a big, long process. But yeah, so I just figured I'd do the lower lash line now and just be really careful with my base products when I put them on after I get done with this. I remember for the longest time, I would always do my base products first and then do my eye look. And I don't know, probably a year or so ago, my daughter was home from college visiting and I was doing the dishes and she was just at the kitchen table putting her makeup on. And I looked over and she was doing her eye look first. And I'm like, what are you doing? You can't do it that way. You have to start with your base products first. And she's like, no, Mom, you don't. I'm like, oh yeah, you do. She's like, watch me. And she did her makeup that way with her eye look first. And I was like spellbound. And I just thought it was great. So that's how I started doing my makeup. And I really like doing it that way. Because then that way, like if you make a big, I don't know, mess on the outside of the lid, then you can kind of clean it up with your base products. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. I know that. But for me, it was like this big revelation that you could actually do your makeup that way. Okay, now I am going to go into the blue shade. This is Sovereign, like I showed before, and I'm going to be just using this flat brush that I love to use for my lower lash line. It's a Beely brush, and I love it. It's real like firm, and I just think it works really well to apply lower lash line shades. So here we go with the blue. Oh yeah. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. I have a feeling that Steph will be using more blue than I am. I don't think it makes her as nervous as it makes me. She has created just some gorgeous looks with blue shadows. Oh my gosh. And you know, our makeup aesthetic, the way we apply our makeup is different. But that's what's so fun about doing palette bingos like this with another creator, because you know, two people have the same exact color story, but they're going to come up with completely different looks. And I think that's super cool to see. And she really just kind of saved me from my little funk that I was having there. I don't know why. I just was thinking about different video ideas and I don't know, I just couldn't think of any. And Steph and Dee Dee both have been really helpful with giving me some good ideas. And, you know, of course, Steph kind of coming to my rescue and saying, palette bingo, baby. I was like, yes. Yes, girl. Okay, so I like how that looks on the lower lash line. That's a really cool pop of color. Yay. Okay, so that's pretty good for both eyes. And then I am going to just take that brush that I used to put down that Amina shade and just kind of make sure that doesn't look too harsh out on that outer part. And I think I've gotten through most of this look without making my face like an owl. Oh, when I'm editing, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, now my last little touch here I'm going to use my little Coastal Scents brush, and I'm going to go back into Jewels, this kind of coppery shimmer, and I'm going to put that down towards the front of my lower lash line. Oh, that's pretty. I'm not sure what Steph's going to think of this particular shade. She doesn't really go for like bronzy. I would say this is more of a neutral color, and Steph is all color, and I don't know how she's going to feel about this, but I know she will make a beautiful look. And I think it's cool that we each got shades that we normally wouldn't use. You know, I don't think she'd normally use this Jewel shade. I know I wouldn't use this Sovereign shade. So, I mean, I might, but I know I would not pick these 5 colors together. I know I would not do that. So this has been really fun. All right. So I think that's about it. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, apply the finishing touches, liner, mascara. I'm going to put my base products on, and I'll be back to show you the finished look. So don't go anywhere. All right, I'm back, and this is the finished look. I love how this look turned out, and I had so much fun doing this palette bingo. It was just really cool to like pick these random shades and then put them together in a look. This is not something that I would normally do, is put these shades together, and so it really broke me out of my comfort zone, and I'm just really glad that I had this experience. I wanted to go over a few things quickly that I used in this makeup look today. On my waterline, I used the Milani Stay Put Waterproof Eyeliner in the shade Keep On Sapphire. I have a couple of these and just love how they perform. On my upper lid, I use the Illamasqua liquid eyeliner in the shade Black. Now, when I first heard of this brand, I thought it was pronounced Illamasqua. You know, it's Illamasqua. But anyway, I really enjoy using this liquid eyeliner and highly recommend this. And then for my mascara, I use the Tarte Big Ego. I have a little tube of this that I got from Ipsy, and I just kind of forget that I have it. So I figured I'd throw this in the look today, and I really enjoy using this. On my lips, I use the La Belle Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Vamp Addict. This was gifted to me very kindly from Steph, and this is the first time I've used this, and I figured, hey, if I'm gonna go out of my comfort zone with my eye look, I might as well do it for my lips as well, and I just love this. It's gorgeous. I think the shade's really pretty. The formula feels really nice, and thank you so, so much, my dear. And then I top that with the Beauty Bakery Jelly on a Lip Whip, also from Steph, and I'm getting a ton of use out of this, so again, thank you so much. And then let's look at the palette together again one more time. This is the Queen palette from Eloise Cosmetics. I'll go over the shades that I used one more time. I used this shade Sovereign on my lower lash line, and I love how that looked. I used Amina. This is a matte, kind of a magenta matte, in the outer V and into my transition area. I blended that out with Elizabeth, this kind of bright pink shade matte as well. And then for my lid, I used a combination of Queen and Jewels. And I just really like this palette. I love the whole color story. The performance of the shadows were amazing. The mattes were really nice, and I love the shimmers. They have that kind of sticky, adhering texture that I just love. You just put them on and they stay put, and there's not a lot of fallout. And yeah, I really enjoyed using this, and I cannot wait to use it again. I am so excited to see Steph's look. I cannot wait for her video to upload. As soon as it does, I'm going to be watching that baby, and I hope you do too. Do not forget to go to her channel, Not Your Basic Steph, and subscribe and watch her video. I am really looking forward to it. I wanted to thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day or evening to sit down and watch my video. It really means the world to me. If you have subscribed or you would like to subscribe, do not forget to hit the notification bell. That way you're aware of all of my future uploads. So I hope to see you soon in my next video. But in the meantime, you guys take care, be well, stay happy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.